Hey, it's Christian Lee here for Earwig Digital. We're here with, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Kyle Gordon. Happy to be here in San Diego, California. Having fun, and yeah, I'm a comedian and musician, and yeah, psyched to be here.
I know, it's great. I know it's your first time performing here for touring. Is this your first time actually here ever though? Or?
Yeah, first time ever.
Really?
Never been to San Diego.
I'm sorry it's cloudy right now.
I know. I was so bummed. We came down from. It's weird to go down from LA and the weather gets colder and worse. So yeah. But c'est la vie.
But I think you're maybe a little bit more than halfway done with the tour, right? How's it been so far?
Amazing. Yeah, it's been really fun, and I've done a few tours now, and this is by far the most fun I've had on tour. Every show has been great. The crowds coming out are so fun, get so excited. I've just been having a blast.
Because some of all your songs great, but some of them are a little bit more wild than others. Have any of the crowds been as wild too, or?
Yes, and that's what's been so cool. So I just came out with my second album, Kyle Gordon is Wonderful. And it's been so cool, even more than I toured off the last album, but with this one, it's I really have noticed people know all the words to a bunch of the songs, and the certain songs just go bananas. I have a Irish drinking song that people have just gone absolutely insane, which has been so cool. And the difference between this tour and the last tour I did, I come from a comedy background. In the past of doing this for many years, seated crowds, comedy crowds, and so last tour we kind of did half and half. Half were seated, half were standing, and the standing shows were way better because my show now is essentially like a comedy concert. It's a concert really, and so all the shows this tour have been standing room, and it's just the energy is just crazy.
And we talked a little bit off camera, but no secret because you posted that Weird Al came to your LA show. Literally just yesterday.
Yeah.
And how much of an influence did he have on your music? Because, he's the goat at this.
Of course, yeah. I mean, huge. Anyone who has done anything with comedy music in the last 40 years, Weird Al is swimming in your brain. And what American kid has not grown up on Weird Al? I mean, it's just he's the king. And so to see him there, I was very, very lucky because I didn't know he was coming, and I didn't notice once you see him, you can't unsee him. Yeah. So I didn't notice he was there until the very last song of the set. So I was totally in the clear and my band had noticed too, and I go off for an encore, and during that they were don't tell him. I didn't know what they were talking about. I'm very glad they did not tell me that he was there. It was good.
Surprise.
Yeah, truly.
And then I've noticed for your last few albums, the one, Kyle Gordon is Wonderful, Kyle Gordon is great. I think both of them kind of have a throwback look, at least for the album cover. And I know for the recent one, I think it was a homage to Jonathan Winters, right?
Yes.
What was there one for the first one that it was a homage to? Or?
So it was more...
or you just trying to do that retro style?
Yeah, the retro. I kind of was going for a 60s... comedy album cover. I took probably the font I think came from a Tom Lehrer album, but I kind of wanted to harken back to a time when not only were comedy albums and LPs really popular, but there were times when comedy LPs would win album of the year Grammy, not comedy Grammy, album of the year. So it was kind of a fun time throwback to the golden age of the comedy LP. So that was kind of what I was going for.
And for the first one, because each album you've done bits in between or skits. The first one you were doing radio. This one you were doing more a VH1 jockey. Yeah. What was the inspiration behind that?
Yeah, so much of my taste and worldview was shaped by. I'm 32 years old. I grew up.
Hey, not that old.
No. Yeah, but I'm only mentioning it because I grew up on these aughts. VH1 countdown shows.
Yeah.
So I love the 80s, I love the 90s, and then they would do these. The one in particular I remember so distinctly is the 100 most awesomely bad songs of all time, and then they would count down what they called shitty songs, and they would always have the same announcery voice, like, you remember back in 1999 when blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And so I was kind of going for that vibe.
Was that the one where they would bring in like guest people too, just to
Yes.
I remember the song.
Yes, exactly,
Yeah, okay.
exactly. They would have like comedians or whoever doing like talking heads. I remember, or like old like 80s pop stars like Debbie Gibson. I remember was like on all of them, and yeah.
And you have a lot of my favorites on this new one. Let's see, the good ones like the millennial indie rock one.
Yeah.
That one's funny. I think the best one though is just like the British rap one.
Thank you. Yeah. Yes. Thank you so much.
Blood on my trainers.
Yeah. Blood on my trainers. Nah, can't risk it.
It's so good.
Thanks.
But what's been your favorite song to perform like off the recent one?
Favorite song to perform? I mean, honestly, the Millennial song has been really, really fun. We do a really fun version of it, and
nice.
it's just such a sing-along. The chorus is such a corny, whoa, whoa, whoa sing-along thing that it's really fun to get everyone involved. Spoiler alert, if you're coming to see the show, I do a final chorus with a ukulele. It's just to really get the corny millennial thing going. And so, yeah, it's really fun to do. I mean, one of my favorite, like, I love doing the British one, and then I have like a new metal Limp Bizkit type parody, and I love doing that one. That one's just hard to sing. So, like, it's fun to do, but it's like, I'm pushing it.
And yeah, I have a friend who's like a big fan of your stuff too, and we were talking like, oh yeah, I'm about to interview Kyle and everything. He was really hyped. But then we were wondering too, because I know nothing about the tour beforehand. I'm like, does he do costume changes after like every like song or?
Pretty much. I wouldn't say it's like full SNL quick changes, but I'll definitely put on some sort of item to indicate to the audience that it's like a new character. So a hat or gloves or a wig or something like that. So yeah, I essentially do costume changes for each song.
And it's impressive because some of the songs they actually are like unironically, I'm like, I would listen to these. You know?
Thank you. Mission accomplished. Thank you.
But there are some like me and my friends like we just can't get through. I think the one like Ugliest Girl on the Beach.
Thanks.
That one like I remember my friend told me he like put that on to someone, like one of his friends, and she was like, turn that off. Like I can't stand this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, sometimes it's funny. Like there are people who get it, and then people who are like, what the can I curse?
You're a polarizing guy.
Yeah. Like, what the fuck is this? So, yeah.
Outside of, Weird Al and everything, who are some, like, actual inspirations that, like, made you want, like, I'll do, like, a dabble in music,
Yeah, I mean, I've always been just, like, a huge music fan and rock fan, pop fan. Combining the music and comedy, like, my number one inspiration really is Christopher Guest, who did Spinal Tap, and my favorite movie is A Mighty Wind, and these are movies, but in them he plays, like he does parody versions of like a band, like a rock band or a folk band, and he does such pitch perfect, kind of what I strive to do is like they're parodies, obviously, but you kind of have to squint and they're really precise, they're really precise parodies. So, and they sound like the real thing, so that Christopher Guest is kind of up there on my Mount Rushmore.
Nice. And we've been, chatting, we've been yapping for a little while now. And I really like your aura, I like your energy and everything.
Thanks.
I'm wondering, do you think we take it to the next level? You think we could like be pals? Just not interview friends.
Sure.
Like friends.
Yeah, okay, sure, yeah. Hell yeah. I'm down.
Okay. No laughter here, don't worry.
Now I have a hookup in San Diego when I come through.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that. Because the thing we love to do for our friends is give them gifts, so we do have some gifts for you.
Ooh. Amazing.
And hopefully you don't have to lug these around too much. Hopefully you have room in the van or in your luggage or whatever.
We got plenty of room.
First one, you said you were a fan of rock. I heard you're a big fan of this band. It is the Ramones.
Oh my God, thank you. Yes, my favorite band. And this is a great album. Yeah, second album. I am a huge fan of the Ramones. Thank you very, very much. Oh my God. Yeah, I would not be doing anything really if it weren't for the Ramones. They were the inspiration. They taught me that they're the perfect example of having great taste is way more important to making good anything than being like virtuosic players, because these are just they're like idiot savants, and I take a lot of inspiration from the Ramones. So thank you. This is awesome.
You're welcome. And speak of idiots, I have another gift for you. And this one, another rock album, but this one a little bit more closer to home and a little bit, since you're in San Diego, why not give it to you?
Sure.
It's Blink.
Oh my God, of course. And I'm staying in Poway.
Yeah.
There you go.
Crazy.
We're staying in Poway tonight. Dude, I love this album, and I mean, it's a hit, but damn it is like a perfect pop song. So, love this album. Yeah. Wow, I can really see these nuts up close. I've never had the vinyl, so I can really see they are hanging low. Yeah, this is awesome. Yeah, Blink. I mean, love Blink. Very cool.
And last but not least, we had to give you this one because, we just had to because you're Kyle Gordon. It's Aqua.
Oh my God! Thank you. Wow. Oh, I have to give a shout out to my friend Louis Perlman, who I obviously knew Aqua, but he turned me on to this specific album. And I think people are starting to catch on, but Aqua is so much more than Barbie Girl. This is like a pretty much pitch perfect dance record of start to finish. And I actually, before my song Planet of the Bass came out, which is sort of a Aqua parody, I actually saw them live at Irving Plaza in New York. And it is one of the best shows I've ever seen. And they were touring because of the Barbie movie. There was renewed interest. And I saw them, I think it was their first show in the US since like 1997.
Wow.
And it was amazing. And they are incredible. So thank you. This is 10 out of 10, all these picks. Thank you.
And, we've been talking a lot about your music. I wanted to play you one song. I think this is one of my favorite songs from you. And I want to hear a little bit more of your, I guess a little bit like a director's commentary
Sure.
behind it.
Sure.
1, 2, 1, 2, I don't care.
So tell me about that one.
Sure. Yeah. So that's my song, My Life is the Worst Life Ever. And
Wait, is this? Wait.
Wow. Holy shit. How did you find that? That's crazy. It sounded like that. Oh my God. I didn't even.
For a while. You've been
I know.
doing this for a while.
Wow. That's crazy. Okay. So that is, I really hate my stepdad. Oh my God. Wow. See, you even tricked me. Where I got started so I started doing comedy in 2014, and I started doing mostly improv. And then actually that song is a bit that goes back to college. So there's a YouTube video of me playing that with like my friend, like on a bongo, and like, it's weird. But yeah, essentially one of the first things I did solo and started doing the musical comedy thing was I had a pop punk emo parody band called My Dark Little Corner. And so that's where I started like doing and producing, writing the parodies. So yeah, that one. But I first wrote it in college. Yeah, that was like the first parody song probably I ever wrote. I don't care about anything. I do things because they're bad. And I don't listen to anyone. And I really hate my stepdad. Yeah.
You still got it. You still got it.
Yeah.
So it sounds like that song definitely helped you along to where you are now too. What about, I think you did these shows called the Character Bash.
Yes.
Those helped
yes.
you, right?
Yes. Yeah. So, wow. Yeah. Character Bash. I did a lot. So when I was doing improv in New York, I did a lot of stuff at a place called the Magnet Theater. I would do this show and host this show later on called Character Bash. And that's where I started doing characters. So anyone who see me online, it really came from a live character performance thing that I was doing before I ever did anything online. So that's really where I cut my teeth and sort of got my 10,000 hours. Yeah.
Well, that's cool. And do you remember, I think, because obviously you said you did the music stuff since college, but I think a little bit more of the comedy, like improv stuff and everything. Did it all start in this place called The Funny Bone?
Yes. That's the first time I ever did comedy on stage ever. But I was doing sort of like a alt, like anti-comedy thing. And so a smart-ass college thing. So I'm going to do like anti-comedy, like pretend to be a bad stand-up. So like, I think people were kind of laughing, but also like there's a full section of like, I did like, it was crazy for an open mic. I think I did like 10 minutes, and then there's like a full 5 or 10 minutes and like a full section where no one is laughing. Yeah. So the Columbus Funny Bone. That's the first time I ever performed comedy.
And look at you now.
And it's online. You can find it. It's Kyle Gordon at the Funny Bone. It's still out there.
Let's bring us back all the way to the beginning, to your career in college too, and to just end the interview. Can you tell me about the deer incident?
Yes. Okay. So, yeah, I went to Denison University in Ohio, and yeah, there was this one day. I think it was my senior year. There was a student center, and it was like all glass. And a deer got into the student center and then started like just freaking out, and yeah, they had to kill it. I wish.
My God.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was pretty grim, but it was all the talk on. Yeah, it's when you go to a boring liberal arts school, the biggest thing that happens is a deer gets into a building. So yeah.
Well, Kyle, it's been a pleasure talking to you. I had a lot of fun. I hope you did too. But before we turn off the camera, because this interview is, we did this for you. And before we turn off the camera, is there anything else you'd like to say? Anything else you'd like to plug? The rest of the time is all you.
Yeah, just check me out, Kyle Gordon. Kyle Gordon is great on most social media.
Good plug. Good plug.
Yeah. Just check out my album. Kyle Gordon is wonderful. Look out for tour dates. We're about halfway through the tour, so yeah, hope to see you out there.